Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
We begin tonight with a powerful storm that moved through Connecticut and caused widespread power outages. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Hartman.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. We have live team coverage tonight. Fox 61's Kayla Cade is in Norwich with a look at how things are going there. Kay Pattyfoot in Hartford. Stefan Reels is in the Fox 61 Storm Tracker in New London with a look outside. As of right now, Eversource reports about 2,600 customers are without power. United Illuminating reports all its customers have power.
So let's begin with meteorologist Deshaun Robinson, who is in the Fox 61 Weather Center.
And good evening, everyone. Yes, this is a very impressive system from thunderstorms off the Atlantic to snow squalls back in parts of upstate New York. And we continue to monitor these light to moderate showers. Currently, a pocket of very heavy rain is moving into parts of New London County. And again, these showers are likely to wind down within the next couple of hours. So still tracking some heavy rain in eastern Connecticut and parts of Rhode Island. And this is where the heavy rain basically would have set up all day. However, again, things are beginning to ease as we're seeing the colder air that is moving in from the west, and we will see these showers wrap up within an hour or two. So today, much of our region saw between 1 and 2 inches of rain, against some heavier totals off to our east. And we could see an additional 1/4 of an inch before all is said and done. Not too windy out there, still seeing, however, some gusts nearing 20 to 30 miles per hour. And again, these windy conditions are likely to persist into much of Thursday. Now, we are finally seeing the colder air that is beginning to rush into our state. Temperatures right now in the lower 40s along those northwest hills, and then mid to upper 50s along those southern and eastern regions. So still looking at some showers within the next hour or two. These showers will wrap up and give way to a rather mostly clear night with temperatures falling into the mid to upper 30s. And again, the windy conditions are likely to persist into much of Thursday. We will see some gusts nearing 30 to 35 miles per hour as the day moves along. However, Thursday we are looking at lots of sunshine for the day. I'll let you know more about this weekend's weather coming up.
All right, Deshaun, thank you. Let's turn now to Fox 61 Stefan Reels, who is live in the Fox 61 Storm Tracker right now.
Yeah, Stefan, what are you seeing? Where are you? And have you seen any damage out there on the roads?
You know, we've been lucky so far not to really come across too much damage. We did run into a little bit of an accident on the Mohegan Avenue Parkway that actually shut down part of the entrance going into the New London area. But I want to turn the camera around real quick because we're still seeing like water really starting to pool up around a lot of areas in where we are right now. We're driving through this giant puddle. Don't do this. This is not what you should be doing right now. That is just a prime example of what not to do. But even though the rain might be calming down, that does not mean that the water is going away anytime soon. You're going to be seeing it collect on the side of the roads, especially near those places where the road transitions into a parking lot. Water will be finding a way to get there. And this is actually starting to pick up a little bit from where we were a little bit earlier on in the day. We weren't really running into too many of those puddles. Places like West Haven, they said that they hadn't even run into too bad of flooding. Sure, they ran into those puddles, but all those provisions that they had really put in place, the emergency services director said that they hadn't really needed to enact them at the moment. So things have been going relatively smoothly so far. Of course, if you had watched the earlier shows, those puddles can come out of nowhere. We almost kind of got into a little bit of a sticky situation just by driving through one because it's pitch black dark, you're not going to be able to see it, and that could end very poorly for you. I'm going to turn the camera back around right now. Rain still coming down here in New London, but overall, we should be doing okay right now. I'm going to send it on to you guys back in the studio. But for now in New London, Stefan Reels, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Thank you, Stefan. Good to see that some of those areas are doing okay tonight. Now let's send it out to Fox 61's Kayla Cade. She's live in Norwich tonight. So Kayla, how have things looked outside for you?
You know, guys, right now it is raining. As you can see, I have my umbrella here trying to keep me nice and dry. Now, because of this rain and the heavy winds today, about 600 of Norwich Public Utilities customers were impacted. Now, because of that, a lot of them were able to come to the hardware fight to pick up some items such as generators. Now, around 7 p.m., Chris Riley with MPU tells me that all power has been restored. When Dana Stanley worked his shift on Wednesday at Harbor Freight in Norwich, he noticed an increase of customers coming to buy certain supplies for their home.
The items they're buying mostly are tarps, lights, generators, and some pumps. One came in and said, I worked all day and I had to buy these lights because my lights went out.
That customer lives along Laurel Hill Road, just like Stanley, where they faced a power outage.
About 4 o'clock, a big section of wire came down, probably because of wind in a tree limb.
Chris Riley with Norwich Public Utilities says crews were out there for several hours to get the power back on.
It's a very complex issue to get the wires untangled, reinstalled, fix the equipment that may have been damaged, and to re-energize that lines. Very complex, very dangerous work. We've got to do it safely and carefully, and we hope that people understand that we're working as quickly as we can.
While they did have some worries,
the concern we have is that the wind is going to pick up in the next several hours, and if it does, that's going to make the work more problematic.
Riley says they made sure they were prepared for the weather.
We've been meeting about this throughout the day. We had some meetings yesterday, a lot of information being shared. We have a good track record in restoring power when there are large-scale outages, and we're confident we'll be able to meet the challenge again tonight.
Riley says they will continue to watch the weather closely and remain prepared just in case any issues may occur tonight. Now, he also says if you go around any down power lines, do not go near it. Instead, call 911 in Norwich. Kayla Cade, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Kayla, thank you. And sloppy as it was out there, we did expect heavier rains for the state. It's lucky that it didn't turn out quite as bad as all that. In some parts of Hartford, areas that are notorious for flooding, wasn't so bad tonight. Fox 61's Kay Pattyfoot joins us live from Hartford now. Kay, how's it looking out there?
Brent, the rain has picked up quite a bit out here, and you definitely still need an umbrella, but Albany Avenue right now compared to years before isn't looking that bad.
Last year, some buildings saw 300 to 400,000 gallons of water within minutes due to a 135-year storm. Local advocates like Bridget Prince say the amount of rain we got on Wednesday is good for nearby businesses in the upper Albany neighborhoods. But when rain is in the forecast, she still worries.
Albany Avenue probably has the worst flooding, and Albany Avenue is not on the agenda to have their main lines repaired. So this is a major concern, and this is why we're here right now, because all these businesses right here have not received the attention and have not received the resources and the repairs that some of the other streets in the North End have received.
After advocating, Prince and other leaders were able to secure funding for businesses in the area, but she says not a lot of businesses received a lot of that money.
We're near Scott's Bakery and Blue Hills Cafe, so it's a good thing not a lot of rain has come by, or else they could have seen some flooding, and that could have damaged some of their foods. Live in Hartford, Kay Pattyfoot, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
And today's power outages also impacted operations at essential businesses like Hartford Hospital. The power went out around 4 this morning. The generator eventually kicked in, keeping most of the lights on, including inpatient areas, thankfully. Some parts of the hospital were still in the dark, though, hours later.
Patients are all right. Where the patients are, they have electricity, they have light. It's just where we are, like our work spots, we don't have any lights.
Well, Shaquille Ricketts there says he and his co-workers sat on standby for hours waiting to get back to work. And coming up later this hour, we'll hear from business owners and neighbors who lost power for hours today, some still in the dark. You'll find more coverage on those power outages on our free Fox 61 News app. Just use the QR code there on your screen and download it, or go to fox61.com.
3 firefighters were burned, one taken to the hospital while battling flames at a home in North Branford today. Crews were called to Totucket Road near High Point Drive around 3 o'clock this morning. They encountered heavy smoke and flames on the first floor, which eventually collapsed. The fire then burned through to the attic, which caused the roof to collapse. 3 firefighters were treated for burns. One was rushed to Yale New Haven Hospital. No one was home at the time of the fire, and no word on what sparked the flames. The search is over for an inmate who escaped the Danbury prison. Federal investigators say 30-year-old Xiaoqin Yan was on the run for 45 minutes before she was arrested and transported back to prison last night. Employees were notified around 7 that a security device was activated and an inmate got away. Yan is serving 8.5 years for possession of a firearm. The FBI is currently investigating how she managed to get away.